Tonight on your FBC News, new poverty scheme to benefit 13,000 households. Work kicks off on construction of new Nausori market and bus stand. And police to beef up security this festive season. Good evening, I'm Jackie Spade. 13,000 households will benefit from a new social welfare assistance scheme next year. The Poverty Benefit Scheme, which is aimed at helping the poorest in the community, has been given $22.6 million. Eleanor Tarangaivu reports.
The Poverty Benefit Scheme will replace the current Family Assistance Program, where the assistance is targeted at households rather than individuals.
If there is a one-member household, there will be a certain payment. If there is a two-member household, or if there is a three-member household with a maximum of four-member household, and the maximum payment will be $150, which will be inclusive of a food voucher.
Those currently under the Family Assistance Program will be the first to get a chance of being part of this new scheme when the rollover is undertaken.
We will recertify all current files that are there in Family Assistance Program to verify and check as to whether these clients continue to qualify under the Poverty Benefit Scheme.
And it doesn't end there. Government will also provide training for those able-bodied people in the assisted household to help them get out of the assistance program.
The head of the household will have to sign up with the ministry to identify able-bodied individuals in the households so that the able-bodied individuals can be put in some skills training and weaned out from social welfare within a period of 3 years.
The application form for this new scheme is to be rolled out in January, and successful recipients will get their first payment in March or April next year. Meanwhile, about 9,000 elderly people over the age of 70 are expected to benefit from the new social pension scheme next year. And government has also announced that come 2013, it will discontinue the expanded food voucher program. Eleanor Tarangaivu, FBC News.
It's official. Work on the new Nausori market and bus stand has begun. Located at the old golf course, the new market will cater for an additional 300 vendors. Deb Naran was at the groundbreaking ceremony today.
The beginning of what people in Nausori have been waiting for. Local Government Minister Kenal Somuela Saumatuba this morning commissioned the new Nausori market and bus stand area.
This is the future of Nausori we are investing in today. The Myanmar government has made this project a reality after the inception of the 1989 Nausori Town Council scheme plan. The project intends to build on government's proud record of service delivery to the Fijian people, particularly to those in the provinces of Telew, Rewa and Naitasir.
The project will cost around $9 million, of which $3 million will be provided by the government and the remaining $6 million will be met by the Nausori Town Council.
The first tranche of this government grant is being budgeted for in the 2013 budget. Some of the vendors in the Nausori market have spent their whole life there. They weather the discomfort of rain, the leaking roofs, the smelly toilets, in order to gain enough money to put bread on the table for the family.
Market vendors who over the years had to crowd in this small space, especially on a Saturday, will now have additional space to sell their produce.
I think will be the best market throughout the Pacific.
It's been 30 years for me to be attached with the current market, and I believe the new market will see a change in the way they deal in their business. This is obviously good news for all market vendors.
Today's groundbreaking ceremony will rejuvenate Nausori town and will trickle down to impact the lives and rural communities and settlements in the 3 provinces. Dev Narayan, FBC News.
A series of new banknotes and coins with new front designs will officially be launched by the President Ratuepeli Nailatikau on December 12th. The new designs of flora and fauna, which are unique to Fiji, will replace the portrait of Queen Elizabeth II. RBF Governor Barry Whiteside says, while it is sad to see this transition taking place, it is time to move forward and promote our very own unique national treasure and the biodiversity that lies around us. The new Flora and Fauna Design Series notes and coins will come into circulation from January 2nd next year. Along with the design changes, the Reserve Bank will also, for the first time, introduce a $2 coin to replace the $2 note. The Fiji Police Force will beef up their presence on Fiji roads this festive season. Police spokesperson Ananai Soro says their goal is to having an incident-free Christmas in 2012. Apisalome Doka reports.
Police presence this festive season should not come as a surprise to the public. They will also be well assisted as they provide security to the people.
We will also be calling in all security providers and also nightclub operators for a meeting very soon. This also includes taxi operators and all other relevant stakeholders on just and brief them about our operations and what we expect from them.
The police force is also urging parents and guardians to be very mindful about their parental role.
What area that we're concerned about during this time is the number of missing persons. We usually get a lot of missing persons cases during this time, and it usually involves our children and youth.
A strong warning has also been issued to those intending to sell alcohol to students or children. Naisoro says officers will be out in full force, and anyone caught doing so will face the full brunt of the law. Apisalome Doka, FBC News.
The Land Transport Authority has suspended 117 driver's licenses in the West, 54 in the North and 76 in the Central Division so far this year. Chief Executive Naisa Tuinadeva has warned that the authority doesn't condone habitual offenders. Tuinadeva says in the past, most habitual offenders renewed their driving licenses and claimed they've been overlooked. The LTA will soon introduce an improved IT software system that will have up-to-date data on all offenders. 12 license holders in all 3 divisions have also been given final warnings. The People's Charter has been proven to be a successful strategy and should be used as a base of development in the new constitution, says the Strategic Framework for Change Office. Director Njombe Seti Moala says under the Charter guideline, Fijians have moved away from being political-minded and are concentrating more on development. Epeli Tukuasa has more.
The People's Charter, a national document which provides guidelines for government policies, reforms and development plan for Fiji, has been hailed a success. The Strategic Framework for Change Office says it has improved the lives of Fijians, especially the disadvantaged in the communities.
We can see that the farmers are now coming over to pay for their 1/3 for housing through Yangwana planting, and all these changes are now happening. We have also seen the rise in the people's interest to participate in economic activity.
SFC says people are now more focused on developing their lives.
People are now development-minded. They have shift from basically looking at the political structures, thinking of the Moselewu Boturanga as important and paramount to them.
Besiti Moala claims Fijians are now ready for changes coming up, especially in our new constitution.
With the preparation of the constitution and with the preparation of the electoral system that Fiji will have its elections on in 2014. We have seen the interest of the people in coming forward to make recommendations to the Constitution on how they want development to take place.
The SFC says the success of the People's Charter is derived from the people through wide public consultation. Epeli Tukuasa, FBC News.
In the news ahead, positive feedback on efforts to eliminate violence against women. Welcome back. You're watching FBC News. As Fiji joins the world in marking the 16 days of activism against violence against women, one NGO is targeting pregnant women and their partners. Empower Pacific has been working with women in health facilities across the country, providing them with protection and helping them heal from the effects of violence. Roland Karoy reports.
Empower Pacific has screened 12,000 women through ANC clinics in 2012 out of which 1,000 have been found to have experienced some form of violence.
I would say that figure is actually relatively low, given what we know about the levels of violence in the community. And part of that is around the reluctance that women have to disclose about the violence.
Every day, women are being abused, either sexually, physically, emotionally, or psychologically. UN Secretary General Ban Ki-moon says millions of women and girls around the world are mutilated, raped, assaulted, or even murdered in what constitutes to be an appalling abuse of their human rights. He is calling on all governments to stay true to their pledge and end violence against women.
Now, for the government, we are actually working on communities. We need to have the communities take ownership of the effort to prevent violence against women and children. From the evaluation that we have made, there has been significant reduction in domestic violence.
I would agree that relative to other Pacific countries, violence against women is becoming much more a talked about issue, and the more it's talked about, the more that women are empowered to be able to access support, and that men are more able to take responsibility.
Both Dr. Chikoluveni and Victor believes working together is important if Fiji is to succeed in ending all forms of violence against women. The 16 days of activism ends on December 10th, but like Dr. Luveni says, our work continues. Roland Koroy, FBC News.
The scheme that provides duty-free entry for many of Fiji's exports into the U.S. market is still under review. FBC News reported this week that Fiji was removed from the scheme. However, Permanent Secretary for Trade and Industry Shaheen Ali says this isn't true. He says Fiji's case has been presented to the GSP subcommittee and is awaiting a reply. Local trade unions filed a petition against Fiji that it be removed from the list of eligible beneficiaries of the generalized system of preferences, with claims that the government wants to destroy the trade union movement in the country. Local movie production continues to build a good reputation in the country. With close to 40 productions so far, the Fiji Audio Visual Commission believes this is largely contributing to tourism. Akosita Tale with more.
Television shows, commercials and documentaries filmed right here in the country. One might think this interest is because of the tax rebates. But think again.
They've just come to utilize our locations because of their unique nature, their exoticness, or because the storyline has demanded that it just be made here.
Bollywood production Table 21 was one of 7 to capitalize on the tax incentives. This will screen on the 4th of January next year. Film Fiji feels that an underdeveloped film industry in Fiji provides locals with investment opportunities.
That is one of the reasons why we're providing such attractive incentives for filmmakers, so that they come here, they generate a local film industry for us, and that there flow on effects from their filming here. And one of the desired effects would be to have locals provide all of the support services that they require.
There are talks of even more movies to be shot in Fiji. A remake of the 70s action thriller Good Guys Wear Black is rumored to start production in Fiji sometime next year.
The movie is based on a story by Takavesi Wakolo, who's the most decorated British SAS soldier in the history of the British SAS, who is Fijian.
Film Fiji is looking forward to 2013 with an additional $100,000 allocated by government. Akosita Tale, FBC News.
Sports time now. A day remains before the start of the Dubai Sevens. So tell us, Shelvin, what is the latest from the deserts?
Yes, Jackie, already the Mind Games have started. We have more after the break. Also tonight, Paralympic Games gets major boost. Stay with us for that and more. Welcome back to FBC Sports. While the Sports Ministry is hoping to get all sporting bodies to affiliate with the proposed National Sports Commission, Fesanok warns there could be grievous repercussions. FBC Sports spoke to Fesanok President Vidya Lakhan, who says international sporting bodies could stop recognizing local bodies. The establishment of the National Sports Commission was announced in the 2013 budget address, for which $1 million has been set aside. Fesanok says while the government's intentions are good, they will not be joining the commission.
It won't affect the role of Fesanok because there is no way we will affiliate with any government agency. Now all the national federations who are affiliated to their own international federation, the international federations require national federations to be autonomous, so they cannot be part of any government agency.
Fesanok says there is little understanding of how international sporting bodies operate.
So the government needs to get an understanding of how sport is administered internationally and what are some of the implications of action that we take locally will impact on our athletes, national federations affiliation to international body.
Amateur boxing is an example of a sport missing out on international meets because of government intervention.
We will not get recognition anywhere, either by the Oceania Federation or by Fesanok or by IBA, because it is an arm of a government department. The International Federation rules require that sports people elect their own leaders.
Sports Minister Vilame Nopoto says the Commission will not be interfering with the running of the sporting bodies. He says they will remain autonomous. Nopoto told FBC Sports that the Commission's only aim is to help with the development of sports in the country. Flying Fijians rugby coach Inoke Male has hit out at some overseas-based players who used excuses to pull out of the team. His comments come as pressure mounts on the coach following a disastrous Europe tour. Indra Singh with more.
The Flying Fijians are back at home from a tour most would only want to forget about. But there were also problems deeper in the side than only underperforming on the pitch.
We picked the right place, but at the end of the day, the place that we picked, the place that we contacted and the place that we talked to didn't turn up in our camp. And the last minute when we arrived in England, they sent us the facts that they are injured by the clubs. That's really affected the team. That's really affected our preparation.
And the national mentor says most would never understand what battles he has had to face off the field.
On the last day of the game, another top player, he was a professional player, withdrew from the team because of the family problem. This is what affected the team. And all us in Fiji doesn't know what happened to us when we are touring.
With his focus on taking Fiji to the 2015 World Cup, Male definitely has his work cut out for him. However, he is still confident the outstanding local players, coupled with those who have pure passion of donning the white jumper, Fiji will soon be taking the world rugby stage by storm. Indra Singh, FBC Sports.
New Zealand coach Gordon Tidgen says arch rivals Fiji will always be a threat at any tournament despite who is in their team. Tidgen has had a number of battles against the Fijians and adds the recent loss in Gold Coast showed what Ali Fretindere's men are capable of.
The depth's so scary than what Fiji have. It's unbelievable, their knowledge of the game. They've got athletes that are suited to the game, and they're always going to be very, very tough. And you've got to attack them when you play them, and you've got to look at ways to beat them. But they're a good side. They've got a lot of depth, and that's why they're such a good team at the moment.
Meanwhile, Scotland, who are in Fiji's pool, are also wary of the national side.
And then we've got the Fijians who got a couple more boys in. It just makes them more solid, makes them more unified, more gritty, I think, as well. Which you saw that Kiwi Fiji final. It was immense.
Local rugby league players were given a lesson in the game today in a clinic headed by league legends Brad Fittler and Andrew Jones. FBC Sports spoke to Andrew Jones, who believes Fijian players can achieve a lot more in league given the right stepping stones. No one knows a rugby league better than Brad Fittler and Andrew Jones. The two men are legends in their own rights. The two men have embarked on a mission to spread the gospel of rugby league.
Because we need more people playing rugby league, and we see the Pacific Islands as a huge growth area for rugby league, and because the guys are made for it. They have the skills and they're big and strong. And
after 2 coaching clinics, one problem area was easy to pick up.
that's the problem, the fundamentals. I just can't believe the balls come into the chest and a lot of the balls are dropped, and then balls are thrown at the guy's ankles and they can pick them up. It's like, if it's easy, then they don't concentrate. But if it's a challenge, you know, their natural instincts and just their great flair for the game comes out.
There is also hope that after the 2013 World Cup, the sport grows even more in Fiji.
And then get the coaching from the coaches who coach in the NRL. And then hopefully they can filter back here. They can come back from the World Cup and they can teach the guys they play with.
Fittler and Jones return next week, but before leaving, they hope to have taught Fijian players the basics. They also hope that they're able to show players the path, which has helped Lote Tungiri, Aquila Wate and Petro Divonideva shine. Next Monday, Suva will play host to the biggest Fiji Paralympic Games. It may be for a one-day, but organizers have promised to make it a memorable one for the 400-plus athletes who are competing. And to help make it all happen, sponsors Digicel today presented the Fiji Paralympic Committee with $20,000.
Moving from approximately 200 athletes last year to 400 athletes that will compete this year. So the games are doubling in size, which I think is a tremendous achievement by the committee.
Despite the hefty sponsorship, Digicel believes it's money well spent.
I think it is a great opportunity to call on more bodies, more organisations, open your checkbooks and get involved.
For the first time this year, a Paralympic athletics-based database will be done at the Games. There was sports. Now it's time for Business with Jackie.
Over 200 jobs will be created with the opening of yet another outlet for one of Fiji's biggest supermarket chains in Suva. New World Limited has announced its first Independent Grocers Association affiliated store will be located at Damodar City. Ritika Pratap reports.
New World Limited is investing over $3 million on this project, which boasts to provide all the needs of consumers under one roof.
It would be a one-stop shop for bakery, butchery, health and beauty counter, milk bar and groceries. Apart from groceries, we would be having IGA affiliated products which are high quality, value for money products.
Govind Yajurvedi says New World has recently acquired the master franchise of IGA, and this will be their first store under the brand. IGA is an organization which sets the standards and processes for managing grocery supermarket businesses. The company today signed a tenancy agreement with Damodar City.
This Damodar City Center would, as New World sees, is in future a happening place where we feel that the people would converge at this place, and there is a business opportunity over here.
Yajurvedi says people will be trained to work at the supermarket.
It would be a mix of skilled and unskilled people. We would be employing unskilled people also and training them and then equipping them with skill sets of managing a supermarket business.
The project is partially funded by banks and partially by internal generated resources. The supermarket expects to open its doors by April next year. Ritika Pratap, FBC News.
That lovely time again. Genevieve joins us with the weather.
Thanks, Jackie. Now, I'm sure most of you have put away your gumboots and took off your jackets today. Apart from Suva, Savusavu and Labasa, who experienced some showers today, it was generally perfect all over. Despite Mombasa having some rain today, the northern town joins Bar at the top of the temperature chart, while Suva was the coolest on the 29th with 29 degrees. The forecast for tomorrow is not the ideal start to the weekend we've all been looking forward to. It's rain all day, accompanied by thunderstorms. So just as you took your jackets off, be prepared to put them on again. The rain and thunderstorms will carry on until the weekend.
Thanks so much for that, Genevieve. And that's your FBC News for tonight. But before we go, these are your headlines. New poverty scheme to benefit 13,000 households. Relocation work on the new Nausori market and bus stand kicks off. And our national seven side proving popular ahead of Dubai Sevens. For our opinion poll, we ask, should the All Blacks play test matches against Fiji? To answer, visit www.fbc.com.fj. And remember to send us those newsworthy pictures and videos. Email citizenseyes@fbc.com.fj. Until tomorrow, Modamamba.